Okay, so moving on, let's see what the spring has in store for us. Ooh, and we've got the Unknown card. And this card is actually unique to this tarot deck, the Crystal Visions Tarot. So it's not in a traditional tarot deck, so it doesn't really have, I don't actually know the meaning to this card. So I will look it up, and I'll just read what the meaning is in the book. Okay, so it says, the Crystal Visions deck includes one unknown card, which represents an answer that's not yet meant to be revealed. Okay, so it looks like the springtime is kind of shrouded in mystery. And one thing that it suggests here, it says, the figure in the card beckons the querent to take a look into her crystal ball. However, the image in the ball is cloudy and unclear. With time, patience, and introspection, the picture will soon be revealed. So that's from the little white book that came with the deck. So one thing that you could do is take a moment to really kind of look at this card and tap into it, and see if you get any particular images or feelings that come up for you, and see what this card basically means to you, what kind of a vibe or energy you get from this card, because it could be different for different people. And when I look at it, I definitely think it has something to do with the shadow self and doing more shadow work, and that just might be because I'm reading a book on that, and so it's kind of influencing how I'm interpreting all the cards. But to me, that's what I see is kind of getting in touch with your dark side and exploring the parts of the self that have been unconscious and hidden for most of our lives, and really kind of taking that journey, which is kind of what I said about the last two cards. So it could just be where I am at right now. But definitely a lot of mystery, in the spring, and yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. So moving on to the fall, and we've got Temperance. So Temperance, I mean, this card has a real harmonious feel to it. Has a very peaceful, relaxed, harmonious feel. And Temperance is all about balance, and it's about kind of walking the middle road, or staying on kind of middle level ground, and not kind of jumping between two extremes. So for some people, that's a huge challenge, being able to kind of walk the middle road and stay away from really extreme kind of behavior, extreme indulgences, or even extreme mood swings. So this is all about kind of maintaining that state of equilibrium and balance. And also when I see there's like a rainbow coming from that cup, and to me the rainbow always makes me think of the chakra system. And I think this card really signifies being in alignment and getting our chakras in alignment. Or put differently, getting our values, our energies, and our actions all in alignment with what we believe and what's important to us. So being very much congruent, being very, very aligned, being very balanced, and just being overall very healthy and strong and very stable. I think this card also signifies an ability to exist in harmony with our environment. So being able to live in harmony with nature, and not just like our natural resources, but also the people that we live with too, and those kinds of relationships. So I see the summer as being a very harmonious time, being a time of balance. And for those who don't often experience balance and harmony, this could be kind of a real opportunity to master this, and being able to walk that middle ground and balance yourself out. And I also see this time as a real time for transformation, mostly spiritual transformation. I say this because of all the butterflies. To me, the butterflies definitely signify a real opportunity for spiritual transformation. And it would be spiritual transformation through doing work on our chakras to get balanced, to get aligned, and like I've said a million times already, being able to walk that middle ground and be very grounded and balanced. Okay, so moving on, we've got our last card, and this card represents the fall, so the autumn months. Okay, and we've got the World. Wow, that's a really nice card to get for the fall, for the last month in the reading. The World is all about a sense of completion, of kind of coming full circle. Coming full circle, and I feel like this card really lets you know that you are definitely going to be able to attain what you set out to attain at the beginning of the year. So to me, this means you've achieved what you wanted to achieve, and this card has a very spiritual element to it, just with the sparkles and the butterfly and the lotus and everything. And this card almost, to me, symbolizes your spiritual enlightenment, or finally gaining that sense of inner peace and peace with the world. And if you look closely at the picture, it's a woman, and she looks like she's meditating and sitting on top of a globe, which is the earth. And it's almost that feeling of kind of being on top of the world, but also as a real sense of being connected with the world and with nature and the environment. So not just being in the world, but that feeling like that the world is also in us. So I don't know if anyone is familiar with the hologram theory, but this is kind of that that theory that the world is definitely in us and we are also in the world. So feeling a real sense of connection and oneness. Well, I guess oneness is kind of the key word that I'm thinking of with this card. That feeling of being connected to everything in the world and everyone. So I see this card, I see the fall as a time where kind of a new you, or a new kind of sense of spirituality is going to be birthed. And you step into that new you in the fall months. So September, October, November is kind of what I'm thinking of. And I think this is going to be a real time for you to come about a whole new way of being in the world. So a whole new way of interacting, a whole new way of seeing things, being able to see things differently, being able to feel very much connected. And I think many of us talk a lot about how we're all connected and how we're all one, but we don't always feel it. And it's very hard sometimes to really have a direct experience with that. And I see this card as representing that you finally really understood what that means, and you really actually feel that in your body, that real sense of actually being totally connected and at one with the world and with everyone and everything in it. Yeah, so really a very powerful year, and I want to point out that all the cards that I chose today were major arcana cards. If you're familiar with tarot, the major arcana cards all kind of represent the kind of the stronger meanings in the tarot deck. So it's very rare in a reading where you draw 5 cards to get all major arcana cards. So this just kind of reiterates the fact that this year is going to be a very powerful year for a lot of people, and I see it as being very powerful, not just in changes and things happening for us in the outside world, but definitely a very powerful spiritual time of transition and a lot of spiritual changes, a lot of transformation, and a lot of really important spiritual lessons for this year. Yeah, so I hope you found that reading helpful, and my name is Kate, and thank you so much for joining me.